Hey, how's it going? This is Josh with Manga with Josh, and this is episode 4 of Manga with Josh. This episode is titled April's Pickups for 2024, of course. So, the first pickup is My Little Brother is the Academy's Hotshot. And this is a decent read at 72 chapters. It's a manhwa with regression as the main focus. The main character was the secondary character in his timeline. He was his brother's right hand man in the war against dragons. And in one of the battles, towards the end of the war, he gets sent back to the past. And it's the same timeline, but yet it's not because his brother doesn't exist. And it's a story about him trying to find his brother and also get the gang back together for the upcoming war against the dragon. So, it's a battle manual. Pretty good. It's about his time in school, training, stuff like that. The second pickup is actually going to be Swole and Swole is 52 chapters, but it's actually a quick read because it's a webtoon. And it's classified as a comedy, but I see it going into the rom-com. And here's why. You have a male and female lead. The male lead is a social media star, and the female lead is a former esports player who, because of an incident, retired. And she works out, and they get closer because of that working out. And it's a bit slow right now, so the chapters don't build too much, so it might not be for everyone, but it's a good read nonetheless. And number 3, we have Becoming a Legendary Ace Employer. Here's a slice of life that's only 36 chapters. It's a manhwa, and the main character gains access to a system, but it's not like a battle manhwa that tells you, hey, do these push-ups and then you get this and that. No, it's a guy who has a bad back, and he's working construction, and he's putting himself through life because his mother is terminally ill with cancer on her deathbed in the hospital, and his father's out the picture, he's died. So he's trying to become better, and the system allows him to get a job at a big corporation, and you just see him go from the training to the actual employee and try and move up the ranks. And there's also the grandson of the chairman of the company who has the same name, so there's some hijinks with that. And like I said, it's only 36 chapters, quick read. Everything on this episode is under 100 chapters, so not too much reading. And let's go with number 4, Regression of the Shattering Sword. 39 chapters, and I don't know if you could tell, but it's regression. It's a manhwa set in martial arts universe like Miram, and the main character was known as the world's greatest killer, and he has a special power or special eyes that when he sees martial arts, he can learn it. And that means if you're fighting him, he can learn your techniques and also ways to counter your techniques. And after he dies, he's reincarnated in a body that belongs to his son. He never knew he had a son. And then the woman he loved, the son's mother's dead. The son committed suicide because he was getting bullied for his father's namesake, because his father was known as the world's greatest killer, and he's part of the Orthodox faction, which means the good guys, and he's getting bullied because of that. And now the father vows to take revenge. So if you want a battle manga, this will be for you, or manhwa technically. And number 5, we have Romance with Marriage Substitute. 45 chapters. It's a romance manhwa, which the main character is a female, and she finds out her fiance is cheating on her, and also it's with her best friend, and he knocked up the best friend. So things would have been fine if that was it, but now the ex-fiance and ex-best friend want to use the wedding venue and the wedding that the main character booked, which doesn't fly with her. So she decides, hey, she can hire someone to get married to her with a contract marriage. December 3rd, you know how these go. But here's the twist. She owns a business, and her right-hand man, the person that she hired, which is like a family friend, she sees as a little brother, volunteers because he actually has feelings for her. And that's the whole premise. So he wants it to be real, but he doesn't want to scare her off. Typical romance, but it's a good read. Art's not bad, good story. And now number 6, Top 1 Fighting Tutoring. The number 1, not spelled out, just the number 1. and it's super short, the shortest one on today's list, 14 chapters. The main character gets bullied, He's a nerd in the sense he's a bread shuttle, a gopher, things like that. And he's lucky because recently someone moved into his house to live with them, a friend of the family's daughter, and he saw her smoking one day, getting hit on by some guys, and when she tried to leave, they grabbed her, so she fought them off with MMA, and she promises to teach him and tutor him as long as he tutors her on academic stuff, math, science, literature, stuff like that, because she sucks at that and she wants to graduate. And just like any high school battle genre, after you beat the first bully, then you have to fight another guy and another guy because it's a gauntlet. They never stop. And that's just a trope that I feel is bland now, but let's see how it goes. Like I said, it's only 14 chapters at the moment. And number 7 is How to Gracefully Divorce a Dragon. It's romance, as you could tell, hopefully. But it's a short read at 40 chapters. I say hopefully because it says divorce, but in this manhwa, the universe is one where humans live alongside beast descendants. What do I mean by beast descendants? Well, animals, like animal spirits, like a tiger descendant, things like that, because the main character, the female lead, is a rabbit descendant. She's in college, and she wants to get close to her senpai, upperclassman, who's a fox descendant. But here's the thing. She actually ends up sending mixed signals to her other upperclassman, who's a dragon spirit. And through no fault of her own, I'm doing air quotes right now, she ends up in an arranged marriage with him. And now she's trying to divorce him, as you can tell from the title. And it's nice. I like the story. And it's going to some shenanigans, as I like to say. And it's good. It's good. Comedy, things like that. But number 8, we had to do one. It's a isekai, but it's called The Archmage's Restaurant. 28 chapters. It's not your typical isekai. Even though I said it's isekai, it's not a typical one. Guy gets isekai from Earth. And in this world, he joins the army. He has to fight. He becomes a hero of the war, but he also becomes a 9th class wizard. Because, isekai people are OP, overpowered. And with this, at the final battle, he sees the black dragon. And instead of killing her, he decides to take her along with him and open a restaurant. Because the cooking sucks. And he hated the meals he ate as a soldier, so he vowed to open a restaurant once he was done with the war. So he does that. And he's trying to keep his identity a secret because he's the strongest mage in the world. And there's hijinks, of course. Like certain things like chicken is super hard to catch and rare. Whereas in Korea or Earth, USA, wherever, it was normal, We have chicken farms, things like that. It's daily food. So him trying to catch a chicken, things like that. So it's lighthearted. And it's a quick read. Like I said, 28 chapters isn't that much. You can kill in a day or two. And it's real good. And number 9, The Mightiest Melee Magician. It's only 25 chapters, so less than the last one, but this one shows promise. I've seen this recently with Mashu, then this one, and another manga / manhwa where the main character's in the magic universe, and they can't use magic. Same thing with Talent Swallowing Magician, but that's different reasons. So that's the whole thing. So they have to resort to physical violence, as some would say. Physical magic, aka punching people. With Mashu, he doesn't use magic, he's just super strong. I'm not going to ruin why. But in this one, he was a genius in magic. He can read, theory, stuff like that since birth. Came to high school. The academy, not really high school because it's like 7 or 8 years. He went to the academy. He tried to use magic now that he's of age. He can't do it because his veins are all messed up. He has a special anti-magic disorder. And one day, 6 years later after that happens, he gets into an argument with the top student who was a bully. And then the bully attacks him with lethal lightning damage, which activates the system. And you know how systems work from before. They give you rewards, things like that. But with this one, the system is the same system that Draka used, who's an ancient dragon who challenged gods and stuff like that, who couldn't use magic, so he used strength to amplify magic and use magic through strength. So he has daily challenges, push-ups, sit-ups, punches, stuff like that. And like I said, it shows promise because he's in the academy, he's the representative for the new tournament, things like that. They're in the tournament saga right now, chapter 25, so there's some time. And now that we're at the end of the 9, if I had to recommend 2 manga was, because there's not a single manga here, my first recommendation is the one I put first, which is My Little Brother's Academy's Hotshot. You have sword fighting, spirit, magic, fisticuffs, punching is what I meant. But it's pretty decent. Like I said, it is the longest one here, so it's had some time to cook, as the youngest said. But no, it's a decent read. I will recommend that first. And number 2, we'll have to go to How Gracefully Divorce a Dragon. This is one of those things that I want to know what happens. You know? It's a cutesy romance, but you want to know where it goes. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for making it through to the end. Take care, and you'll hear from me on the next one. Take care.